Hello everybody! It's so cold. I'm in Slovenia, but not in the city. I'm outside of the city. As you can see, this is the fields. I can hear the birds, but it was raining so much. It stopped raining, but I see the clouds all over, so it's gonna start raining again. So let's start with the video and let's do the intro very fast. So in this video, we're going to talk about graduated filters. That is something that I use a lot when I'm editing in Lightroom, and that actually every editor should know. So let's start, because it's getting cold. Intro. Okay guys, I'm a little warmer here in the office. I'm gonna show you this picture, and I did some little tweaks in the picture, as you can see here. Like exposure, I put a little bit, I play with the shadows a little bit. For sure, the first thing I always do when I edit, I do the curve. So you can see here there is a tone curve. But I'm gonna show you how it was before, so you can understand why I did this. As you can see, it was really dark, and so adding all of these changes, now I can see a little bit more the animals, the houses, the details in the houses. But there is something that happened here. Look at the sky here. It's super nice, like the colors. You see, like here, like the sunset, all the details of the clouds. But when you come here, it's overexposed. But this is the thing, when I change here, everything changes in the picture, and I don't want that. Actually, what I want is to do it focalized, to just change here, just change the back, just change the animal here, do it specifically in every section. So how am I going to do it? Using the graduated filters. So I'm going to reset what I did here. I'm going to leave the curves because it helps me with the contrast. I'm going to leave that. But the little things that I did, I reset it. Okay. Now we're going to do it with the graduated filters. And they work like this. This is the graduated filters here. This is the icon. These tools over here, all of them are for focalized editing. I'm going to push the button here. And now I have the graduated filters. This opens here. And if you come here to the picture, you see this little plus button. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the sky. Okay, we click in the middle and we pull down. It's in red. If it's not in red in your computer or in your Lightroom, it's because you have unselected this, show selected mask overlay. Also, another way to do it is pressing the button O, okay, in the keyboard. I'm pressing O, it's off, O, it's on. So this red is actually telling you this is what you're masking. This is what you're going to do. This is what everything that you do is going to change everything that is in red. And now it's called graduated filter because you can see that it graduated. You can see here on the bottom is a little bit, here is more, and then is a lot. Okay, but what I want to do is I just want to touch the sky. I don't want to touch the houses. So I just go a little bit higher. But still I'm touching the houses a little bit higher. Still I'm touching the houses. So to avoid the houses, I have to go much higher, like here. Now you can see that the houses are not selected. Actually, a little bit more because the point of the houses, the top of the houses are selected. But the problem now is that I'm not touching this sky here. But what to do? This is the way. I'm going to show you the perfect way later. But for now, this is the way. Okay, let's press O again. So now we know that this is the mask over here. And I'm pressing O, so this is going. So you can see exactly what you're going to do. Let's do something with the sky. First thing, I like the sunset here, so I want everything to be like a sunset. So I'm gonna give it more warm tone here, like a little bit warmer, not that much, maybe like there, okay? Now exposure, it's okay. Highlights, I'm gonna take the highlights because when you take highlights, the sky starts to be more into detail, okay? Now shadows, I don't think I need to do anything with the shadows. When I play with texture, I normally take out clarity to soften the sky. I always do that with the sky specifically. Saturation, we can add a little bit more so you can see more, like deeper the sunset. There you go. Sharpness, I normally don't touch this, but let's do a little bit of sharpness. Every time you do something with sharpness, like to give some details in the clouds, it adds a little bit of noise. So you can actually put some noise here so you recover, you know, like whatever happens here, it happens here. Now the haze, I love to use it in skies. Look what is going to happen. Look at the dehaze. If I go extreme, it's horrible. But if you give a little bit of dehaze, it makes a difference, okay? Now the sky is very nice. Look at the difference with the sky before and now the sky how it is, no? It's exactly what I want, a little bit of warmness. So now I have to do the same here. First, I have to make it visible, but then I have to add this little bit of warmness. So if I'm done with this, you just come here on the top and you're gonna click new. So we're gonna create a new filter, new graduated filter. Now we're gonna do the bottom of the picture. Remember that when we did this one, we just press the plus button. You know this, you see this plus here. You press it and pull it down, right? And then it's all the top. In this case, we have to press and pull up. So now we're selecting the bottom part. If we press O, you can see actually that it's selecting also the sky. So we can actually make it a little bit bigger. You put the hand, when you move the hand here or on the bottom, you can actually make this bigger. But everything is going to grow. You see, like, look at this. I'm gonna exaggerate so you can see what I'm doing. You see? This is the way. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I don't want that much. There you go. But I don't want the sky to be selected. So when I come close to this circle, this black circle with the white circle around, it becomes a hand. This one is gray because this is the one that we already did, but we put new. So this is inactive now. Okay, we cannot do anything. It's already done. Unless I click here, and now I'm selecting this, and now is the top what I'm going to do. But no, we're doing the bottom. So let's click here and we select the bottom. So when you come here to the circle, it becomes a hand. You can actually move. You can drag everything down. Let's drag it because we want to select the houses. If we go more, then we are unselecting the top of the houses. We have to select the houses. I think there you go. But you can see that we're also selecting part of the sky. But like I said, what to do? I'll show you in a bit the perfect way to do it, okay? Now we press O so we can see what we're going to do. Let's add 1.5 of exposure. Now we can see something. Now let's take shadows. Not that much because it's supposed to be like a sunset. So I want it to be like a sunset. But because it's a sunset, I want to give some warmness also to this part. So let's give a little bit of warmness. So it's going to change the color. And now they are like more in between each other. No, now I can understand the picture because this is warm and this is warm. In this case, I like to add clarity, not like before, because now I want the details. I want the details over here in the grass, in the animals. Even I want to add texture. Even I want to add sharpness. Remember that every time you add sharpness, I normally add noise also. That is actually, you're not adding. You are actually helping the sharpness, so the noise is getting better, no? It takes out the noise. And then in saturation, because of the colors here, green colors and everything, I'm going to add a little bit of saturation that is going to also help with the warmness, as you can see. And now we have our picture done. You just click done and it's done. Of course, there's so many things that we can do in the picture. Like, for example, we can use these radial filters and we can actually select exactly specific animals and then just the houses. We can highlight them. We can give them more texture, make them like pump out of the picture. And this is normally what I will do. But now it's just about these graduated filters. So this is it. But we're going to make a better way now, because in this part over here, we lose the sunset. Remember this sky over here, because either we were not touching it or either we were touching it when we didn't want it. So actually this has to be fixed. So what are we going to do? First, we're going to compare with the old picture. Look at the old picture and look how the picture looks now. It's very nice, but we're going to make it better. Let's go back to the picture. And now let's reset what we did. So we come to the graduated filters. And as soon as you come here, the hand, you select this. You know that it's selected when you see the black circle with the white circle around. You click delete and boom, it's out. Now we do the same with the other one and we are back in the picture, okay? Remember that here we just have some curves that we did, but that's it. Now we're gonna do again the graduated filter, but in a different way. Let's click in graduated filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to do exactly the same. We pull down. And remember, when you pull down immediately, you're going to select the top. Did you see that it was not straight? And I have to move it a little bit to make it straight. When you just pull it like this, sometimes it goes around. It's very sensitive. If you want to move it like rotation, if you come close to the circle, you can see here this curve with these two arrows. This means that you can rotate it. But if you come close, it's going to be very difficult to be into detail. It moves a lot. If you come here to the edge, it's easier to be exactly where you want. Also, other way to do it, if we click here and we delete this, it's like we're going to do it again. Pressing Shift, just hold it, and you drag this down. As you can see, it's not moving, it's exactly straight because you are holding shift. Okay, now let's press O. So we have the sky here, like in the beginning. Remember, we don't want to touch the houses, that we have to come a little bit higher. And then when you come higher, there's some part of the sky that is not selected. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. We go down, we are selecting houses, and this part over here is horrible. We want to fix it. Okay, we want just the sky. There is one way. We can come to brush. You go down here and you have erase here. When you press erase, you can come here and you can manually delete what you don't want. But in this case, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it in a much better way. So we come back to edit. We're going to come down here and it says range mask. This is amazing. This is coming with the new versions of Lightroom. I think it's like 1 year or 2 years old, no more than that if I'm not mistaken. Let's come to luminance. This is a range mask. So we're going to decide which is the range, what is going to be selected. As we can see, it's selecting part of the ground here in the houses. So the range here, it works like everything in Lightroom and everything in Photoshop. When you go to the left side is the dark colors, the dark part of the picture. And when you go to the opposite side, to the right side, is the highlights and the high tones, okay? So we're going to go to the right side because we want to select the sky that is actually the highlights. So we go to the right side and look what is happening. As soon as we come here, now we are selecting just this. We're not selecting the houses or this bottom. It's selecting just the highlights. We can come a little bit here and actually with the smoothness, we can look specifically where we want. If I come with the smoothness here, you can see that now the houses are not selected. If I come a little bit to the right, it's gonna be perfect, I think. Let's see. I think now we're talking. Now it's perfect. And I'm touching everything here that I wanted. This is what I wanted. So now let's click O. We know that all the sky was selected. And then let's do the same that we did before. Let's add a little bit of like temperature. There you go. But you're going to see the difference than before. The big difference is that now I'm actually properly editing this part over here that is very important in the picture because the sun is somewhere here. You see this orange here? Before it was not like this because before we were touching so many things but this part. But now look, it's completely different. And now we're gonna make a new and we're gonna use just the bottom, okay? We're gonna do just the bottom. Remember, you click and you drag up. Is the opposite to select the bottom, okay? Now we go a little bit. I was telling you about the shift and I didn't press the shift. Okay, there you go. If we press O, we can see that it's selecting exactly what we want, but it's also selecting the sky. I don't want to be selecting the sky. So we come here, we do the range, exactly the same thing, but we're going to do the opposite. Instead of going to the right, we're going to the left. Let's go all the way to the left. And now you can see that it's selecting just the houses, everything, even the wood here, but the sky is untouched. And that's what I want. It's perfect. Now we click O so we can see what we're going to do. And we're going to do the same that we did before. If you see that the image is weird, it's not properly, the colors are not properly, it's because when you come here, you see the smoothness, we did it wrong. If we add more smoothness, it's actually now it's better. So smoothness is that everything you do here is going to be very soft. It's not going to be intense. If you go all the way to 100%, then it's going to be very into detail what you're doing here. So we're going to click done. You can actually do so many things more, but the idea of this tutorial is just about graduated filters. But I'm going to show you one last thing that you can do with the graduated filters in another picture. So I have this picture. I did the curves and I did some graduated filters. I have selected here the graduated filters. You can see that I have two here. I did for the sky and I did also for the grass and the trees over here. I just did it simple and fast. I didn't go into detail because I want to show you something else about the graduated filters. We're going to create a new one. So we come to new. We're going to come here and pull up because we want to select the lake, okay? It doesn't matter if it's not straight, it's just because we're going to select the lake. If we press O, you see that it selected everything, including the lake, but everything else, and we don't want that. So we're going to come here down. Remember that with the brush, you can put erase and you can do it by yourself. But we're going to use this range mask that we used before, but instead of luminance, we're going to do color. This is going to open and we're going to have this color selector, color range selector. We click it and we're going to select the color of the lake, as simple as that. When you select the lake, look what is going to happen. Now just the lake is selected. You can actually come and return this color range selector, but you can see that the lake color is reflected at some point in the trees and also in this part. So it's actually, the lake is very nice, but around is also selected a little bit. So you can come to the amount and go to less amount of mask. So when you go less and less amount of masking, you can see that now it's unselecting all of this. Maybe we have something here, but we can come here in the hand and make it a little bigger so it's better, okay? But now we have the lake selected, is the color, and the lake is having the color of the sky mixed with the lake color, and is reflected also in these houses over here. So here, I wouldn't say there's nothing we can do, because we can come to the brush. I'm gonna show you. We come here down to erase, and then manually we can erase. As you can see, we are erasing the selection here from the top. You see? There you go. We erase that selection. We come here on the top, and we have to come back to edit so we can keep editing, okay? Now what we're going to do, we press O. We know that we selected just the lake. We can add like a little bluish color to the lake. We can actually add saturation, like exaggerate saturation. Let's change the hue to like a greenish color. Let's go here to green. Look what is happening. Just for fun, let's compare to the picture before. Let's click done. And let's compare to the picture how it was before. I mean, it's obvious that there was a change, but I want to show you the difference. Look at this. The lake was like this, and now we make it super green. But this is so cool, because this is the way I wanted to show you, actually exaggerating the color, that with the graduated filter, you can actually select specific colors. This range mask in the graduated filter is very nice. You have to start using it. Now, there's another thing that I want to show you, and then I can say goodbye. Also, the graduated filter, if you want to select, for example, the whole picture, you can come here to the corner and do this. Well, I did it the opposite. If I press O, it selected this part. But okay, let's move it. Let's move it here. You can put it in one corner of the picture, and you're going to select all the picture. So you can do little details separate, and then you can also do all together. And this is really, really cool. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and you know what? I'm gonna leave you somewhere here a link of a previous video that I did with the free presets. I prepare a pack with free presets for you, so just click somewhere here and take advantage of that, okay? Until next week, subscribe!